how do you advise that we bridge the gap in between how men think and how they are understood?
Don't start this conversation at this point now.
If I cannot understand what you're saying, you're not communicating to me.
So,
You're just talking.
a man is a father, a man is a brother, a man is a son, a man is a husband. So you are everything. So for all the hats that you wear, you must continually learn that you are not a one size fits all the time.
Welcome to another episode of The Grounded Man, a safe space where we discuss men's mentality, men's wellness, where we can relate to every man's ability to grow. Today's topic is going to be dwelled on how a man is being seen, a man's mentality. How do we reason? Have you ever wondered why most times your husband, your boyfriend, your son drives in from work or from school? Most times they tend to spend between 10 to 30 minutes in the car after they parked in the compound, and you keep popping through the window. What's wrong? Why is this guy not inside yet? What's happening? Where is your brother? I thought he drove in 15 minutes ago. And I'm like, oh, we've not seen him. I think he's still downstairs. Yeah, anyway, is my husband. I thought he drove in just now. He's still downstairs. Ever wondered what you think could be going through his mind or why he's still in the car? I bet most people in a relationship think he's probably talking to his side piece. I could tell you that 80% of the time that is not what is happening. I could tell you that because I'm in that shoes most of the time. I drive in and I just want to sit down and, man, what a day. And maybe do a little bit of recap. But I would like to pass the mic to Barrister Serrano beside me here. By the way, I'm dressed like this because I'm a barrister, just to impress you a little bit.
Yeah.
Further to my left, I have Kolade, popularly known as Coach K.
Good afternoon. It's great to be here on The Grounded Man. And necessarily, unlike you, I don't get to my house and stay in my car. Yeah, I just park and
You're one of the 1%.
I go back straight up to my apartment, and but for the men who stay in their car, level.
And to my able co-host, Tosin Gbadebo. Do you stay in your car?
Sometimes men will stay in their car because they are just rounding up an episode of the day and they are about to go into another episode. So they are trying to, this is the end of an episode, let us calm down. So cameras will just stop there. Then when they now step into the house, they know that it's another episode before the light out. So sometimes the sitting down in the car sometimes can be like, what a day, because another day is about to start.
But sir, permit me to jump in and Barrister Serrano, please do forgive my.
That's okay.
So one of the things I say all the time, we say it is something that men do, but I think it's something that applies to everybody, regardless of the gender.
True.
First, one of the secrets I share when I speak to leaders or even people who work in high-paced, high-performing environments is this. The minute you close from work, I always say this, never be in a hurry to rush out of the office. Even though there's a challenge of you want to clock out at a certain time, you want to go home, there is that thing where you get to a space, you get to a place where you need to shut down, recenter, recalibrate before you move. So in the context of that, I don't think it's necessarily a man's issue. I think it's something that happens to us who survives. There was a recent research that spoke about how the fact that it's a very, very funny research, but it speaks to the fact that people who live in Lagos are not normal. And I agree, we are not normal in this environment. So in an environment that's peculiar to us as a people, it's easy for you to just be a part of the grind. And the grind that you do subconsciously becomes a conditioning. And you are running that condition program over and over. So if you don't learn to shut down, and to everybody that is probably viewing, that's working 9 to 5 or runs a business and is trying to survive every single day, when it is close of work, shut down first. Because whether you're going to get into a car and drive, or whether you're going to pick an Uber, you're going to get a bus, you must first learn to shut down. Otherwise, what you find out is this: the minute you leave that environment, right, you carry that conditioning and that stress and that pressure. So it is the same way when most of us drive. You suddenly begin to run commentary inside car when you're driving by yourself. Can't you see me? Can't you do that? You are responding and you're reacting. So it's so if you also don't manage that emotion and you're a married person, you carry it home, you will subconsciously, without knowing, because we run a program of the subconscious, you will act it out to your wife. Your children will not get the best of you. So the core idea, I think, should be that the man is trying to find an identity and a conditioning that works for him at every point in time. A man is a father, a man is a brother, a man is a son, a man is a husband. So you are multi.
And for those that are pastors, a man is a pastor.
It's not like the man is an imam, doctor. So you are everything. So for all the hats that you wear, you must continually learn that you are not a one size fits all the time. You can be romantic to your wife, but you can't be romantic to your child. It is seen as
absurd.
Irregular, a lot of irregularities. The same way you can't be romantic to your staff, or it mixes it up. So for each condition that you find yourself, you must recondition.
Different roles.
It's conditioning. If you say role, it's more like work. If you say conditioning, it's like a state. It's like something you have to be.
Yeah. So when I mentioned earlier on that it's like when you shut down, it's like a close of an episode, and you're about to open up another episode. Probably I need to reiterate a bit further to understand that, just to buttress what you're saying, you're shutting down a condition. You're reconditioning yourself into another mood because you have left work. You are now about to go home.
Good.
You're not supposed to take work home.
Beautiful.
Okay, so to buttress your point, there was a time I worked at Mutual Benefits. I did my IT there and I worked there a couple of times. My boss, as at that time, was his name Sampaio. So he would, I think I did my IT sometimes around 2016, 2017, thereabout. And he would tell me, and he would call me to his office that the man was married at that time, and I believe he should still be married as that now.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So he would tell me that, Biola, when you get to the gate of Mutual Benefit, you should drop everything that has nothing to do with Mutual Benefit outside. You are a different person entirely. Mind you, Tobatin Daily, once you are getting home, drop everything that has to do with work. Just drop it at the entrance. Smile like as if everything is fine. Go in with it because, and I asked him that, what do you mean by I should smile? You asked me to go and do this and I'm not ready to do it at work, and I feel like the pressure is much around. I just feel like I need to transfer the aggression. Be careful. If you transfer the aggression to either, if you go home as a son and transfer it to your mom, the feedback you will get might not be okay by you. So you need to find a balance to it. So I think the lesson was trying to give me then. But then, I'm not asked Barrister Serrano. What do you think about that status that says when a man drives in a Pax and is spending 30 minutes in the car? What's your opinion as a lady?
So, for instance, I think it could just be an opportunity for the man to decompress. Like every other person has said on the show today, you're just leaving work, you're trying to get yourself into a state of mind of how to do things at home. There's that, and then there's also the fact that a man could be trying to get out some messages. Perhaps he has a side piece somewhere, and he's trying to do all his check-ins before he gets into the home. Okay. Yeah, so that could also be the situation. It could be a number of things, really.
So let us bring it back to our topic.
Yes.
The male mentality. It's wild. Sometimes the female gender do not get to understand why is he acting this way? Why does he talk this way? Why am I talking to you and you're not saying anything? Why are you quiet? Why are you silent? I listened to someone speak one day, and And that I saw myself, I mirrored myself into what he said. He said, a woman could be talking to a man and she would say 5,000 words in 3 minutes.
That's a lot.
And the man would, and after 5,000 words in 3 minutes, the man would just say, okay. And the woman would go mad. After all I have said, okay is what you have to say. I said that the school fees is due. I said that this one is done. I said that, and okay is what you have to say. Okay is what you have to say. Then the man would not say anything. But guess what? Immediately she said that, she had forgotten about it and she has gone to bed. Catch the cruise. 3 days after, the man comes up to say, I think you spoke about 3 days. I've been thinking about it. I'm like, what did I say 3 days ago? Like, can you recap? So while she had gone to bed and she had poured out all she needed to pour out, the man is there still processing, still running through it. So, okay, sometimes it's probably because he has not found the answer to what it is. So, coming back to the male mentality, how, and I want to ask from a female's point of view, how nauseating can it be? How irritating can it be when men go in that route that you don't understand and you actually
So,
want to...
Barrister Serrano, before you proceed to respond to that, I would like to add that, funny enough, I don't think he has, most of the time, what my co-host just said now, what Tosin said basically, might not necessarily even be about school fees. So it could be your wife or your girlfriend or your sister giving you a gist about something entirely like, so when we got there, but I just jumped up and okay. You didn't hear, I told you that, but I ain't, okay. He heads it that way. Then you find out that 3 days like, that thing you were telling me about that, Ibrahim, do you know that yesterday, men could probably be wired to process things that way? Why? Slower. What's your opinion about that?
What's my opinion about it? I would say some men are not particularly talkative. That may be the reason. Some men probably don't want to get into all the gist, or they don't have the energy for it. But instead of talking about why men can be like that, I would rather like to respond to how women interpret it when you give them that energy.
Which is what I really want to understand. I want to get.
So I've had a long day outside. I get back home into the house. I'm excited to share my day with you. And then I talk and you tell me, okay. Okay as how? It's
like as how?
Yeah, like as how? It's going to be upsetting.
Do you think asking him how did his day go first would help?
Oh, believe me, we would have crossed that bridge already.
Okay, fair enough.
Hi, how was your day?
I'm just trying to help you cross and
No. We would have crossed that bridge already. So a woman.
Or even when you ask how was your day, would he really tell you how his day went?
Oh, that's another conversation. That's another conversation entirely.
Okay.
I suppose we'll get to that at some point.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Bottling up things and not wanting to spill it
To
out.
share. Absolutely. So to a woman, it's upsetting because she's coming with all this excitement of wanting to share her day with you, but you're not returning the same energy. So it seems like you're not particularly interested in her life or her day, and it just gives this sort of distance.
I have seen a couple of incidents where you get people talking, and the reason why you would hear him say okay, Coach K, is because maybe the response, I'm like, okay, this is what we are talking about, this is what you are saying. Okay, you know what? Because I don't want to get into a fight with you, because I don't know how the conversation might likely go, because I don't know what I would say that could mean like, okay, is that what I'm telling? Okay, now you're supporting my Ogabi. Maybe you just
so maybe I see it a bit differently.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe I see the entire conversation from another point of view. And so maybe this is my point of view so let's assume I'm sharing my ignorance with people at home and the viewers. Number one, there's no one size fits all when it comes to relationship and dealing with people. Let's establish that. There is no one way. Number two, For us to claim in a relationship, to claim we're in a relationship, there is a level of conversation that exists, and there is a level of communication that exists. So I am assuming, using Barrister Serrano's example, you are excited and all that, and you want to let your spouse or your would-be significant get in on the conversation. This is it. Before you get in from work, you have mobile phones, right? There are voice notes. There are messages. So you are preempting the person. Babe, this is babe, I'm just babe, I'm trying to give you this happened though.
Or if there's no time to share all of that, your voice notes and
No.
messages.
Okay, so that's where I disagree.
Why?
Because
Why?
hold on, sir, because it's easy for you to give an excuse and say, oh, there is no time. Hold on.
I have a friend abroad that works abroad and they are not allowed to use their phones
Okay,
until.
so hold on, sir.
Do you understand? So it could be that instance.
Hold on. We can give a lot of excuses.
So this is not an excuse.
No. That's
the man's way of life.
No. I'm saying that we can give a lot of excuses. We can give a lot of instances, and these instances will be justified, right? The person that goes to work is like person is 1 out of 100. It's like you dating somebody who works on the oil rig.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so there are peculiarities to these conversations. But are you saying that if I leave my spouse a message in their busy schedule and we are married, we're engaged, they will come to the phone at some point?
True.
And they will know, oh, this person has left this message. So you are preempting.
Even if it's just 1 minute where you are driving in.
God bless you. So you are preempting those messages. You are preempting those conversations. So that's why I say, permit me to share my own. I don't think that you just want to freeload on them when they drive into the car parking lot and they are saying, you are doing my day. No, that must spring off certain conversations. So, and I think that it is the lack of those pre-conversations in itself that creates the bottleneck when you talk and they give you okay. It's the same way a woman will tell you that if you want to have sex with me later in the day, begin to prep me. If you can prep your woman to drop in and what you're wearing. The same way for basic day-to-day conversation.
Set the mood right.
That is what I'm saying. So it is easy for us to say that, I come in, you freeload on me, I respond. No. So this is me saying that in the light of all of this, there are teats, beats, drops, all of these that are coming on. And so we don't make it look like the man just comes in and is the victim and is consistently reacting.
Yep.
We can't create the picture. So there is the standard picture of the angry black woman that America has painted us.
Yes.
And I say this all the time, and I say this without apology. And it might be a bit off, but it's in tandem with the conversation. Nigeria was colonized by the British. We go to school for every 6334 education is British, right? And we are supposed to learn British curriculum, British English, British everything. So this is the irony of us, where that makes our generation, especially our generation, a confused one. When we get back home, 95% of the visual content we digest is American.
Can you break that down?
TV.
I know. So for my audience.
So the bulk of the content we consume on television, films, movies, they're American. Yes, our education is British. So we grow up with that. We are neither here nor there. So we are
very dynamic people. We can infuse American and British together.
So don't let
a little bit of African in it also.
No, that one is the African so the African is the background, is the base, is the Saleh, Coco Saleh. The foundation that will not pour everything into. So most of the things that we share by itself is edged.
British American.
God bless you. So it's edged and is based in a lot of confusion by itself. So and then don't forget that the average human is more visual than we are thinking. So we consume from the angle of what we see, how we see. So the things we see most of the time stick longer with us. Pastors, we are the Sesame Street generation.
True.
Right? So we know certain words, we sound certain ways because why? Was it because they taught us in school? No. It was because we watched.
And the more the
Good.
watch sticks.
That sticks. So that's what I'm saying. So ultimately, a lot of times, so we have become a set of people. That's what I'm saying, that we believe in the angry woman and narrative, which is not a thing. The same way that as Africans, we have come to find our own definition of man and manhood. And there are certain conversations that if we want to pick on them, to the woman, it might sound nonsense, but to us, okay, one of the conversations I had recently is, how come divorce was never really a thing in Africa back in the days? You know why?
Why?
Because our system is designed, especially the southwest and the southwest, especially that I'm aware of, it is designed such that when anything happens to a woman, right, the society puts that woman consistently under a man. That's why when somebody in the southwest would die back in the days, rather than make the person a widow, what would they say? They will call the most senior person in the family and they will give her. Why? Because the system itself is designed to protect the woman. So that the woman is continuous, she's fended for.
Even though this our generation is reading it wrongly.
She's fended for, she's taken care of, she's given a home, she's given a name, because she has been given out initially as a wife. So our system by design has created a man. So these days when I hear all these plenty big words, chauvinistic. Please, barrister, please help me with the other ones. They're the one that went to school, Leonard College. So you hear all the big words that they bandy against men, narcissistic, and all of that.
They forget the
So
But the question now, I think we should come in.
Sorry.
May I say something?
Yeah, please go on.
In reaction to what you just said.
Yeah, please go on.
So when you use words like narcissistic, they're not gender-specific words.
I will definitely.
Although if you consume a lot of content on the internet, they're mostly used to describe men, especially people who have been in bad marriages. Yeah, so you tend
Or bad bosses.
Or bad bosses, yes. But they're not
So, but why that word
gender
bad?
specific. Why the word bad?
Attached to it.
They're not positive words.
Okay.
They're not positive words, they're negative words. So what I wanted to react to specifically was the narrative of our cultural system being some sort of protection for women. That may have been the original intent, but it's sometimes not fair. The woman does not particularly want it, and she's placed in a situation where she has to abide by it. It goes against public policy. So you may say those systems were in place for the woman's protection, but if you look at it on a larger scale, a lot of people probably did not like it. They just had to go along with it because that was what culture or tradition expected it to do.
And I love the line of argument that you were. Don't forget that we'll now revert back to what I said earlier, and I'll say it again, which is I said that there is no one size fits all. Nothing is set in stone.
Absolutely.
So let's agree. So
Absolutely.
I did that to set the background for the conversation that we're having.
Okay.
So that we put a bit of perspective on the thoughts of what makes a man.
Yes.
And I'm coming back, which is and the core where I was really coming down to is the identity of the African man.
Yes.
Is something that we need to find. Number two, the identity of the African man now, the millennial African man, post 20th century, is one that we are trying to redefine. Number three, I've followed.
Are you trying to redefine it?
We're trying to redefine it.
Redefined already.
No, it's not redefined. And I'll tell you where I'm coming
It's
from.
still in the making.
I think I'll go with this in the making. So we grew up in a generation where we were familiar with our fathers being the core provider of the home. They determined everything that ran. Then, so what happened in the mid-80s, if you remember, if you follow, I started reading Concord early, so in my mind, I felt like I was a brilliant child. So what happened in the mid-80s was this. We found that I got to a point where more women were now challenging themselves to take mid-managerial roles. So there was a shift in our life between the 80s and the early 90s. What happened? There were now women who were making more money. They were in a higher number. So at that point, then don't forget that was SAP that came in during Babangida. Sorry for people, children of history. Go and use Google. So what happened then was that a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of fathers suddenly found themselves at home. dependent on what the woman was
Some
bringing in.
people even meet the targets.
Oh no, sir.
Things like them.
Stay with me, sir. All of a sudden, this was a man who was used to being the provider, now used to being dependent on the woman. So the biggest challenge at that, and there were a lot of men in that generation who were our fathers, who did not know how to define themselves outside that. Being a provider, from being a provider to being a dependent.
Not only a provider, a protector and a provider.
You know?
First a protector.
So if you follow the trajectory of the stories then, and I like social commentary, that was when, Chris, stay with me, these were the days of incumbent, right? You find out that there was a lot of violence of married men against their wives. Why? Men were trying to find definition of an identity. That was what they should be, and they were trying to find relevance. So these are some core fundamental conversations that needs to be had, that we need to rethink. So our generation sprang off those things that we saw. We saw the good, the bad, and the ugliest. And now we are a generation of people who are having children and are now trying to give identity and help our children because they will pick the identity from us. So I wanted us to, I like to look for a bit of trouble. So I wanted us to throw that spanner in the wheel so that we can also now put the conversations in perspective.
Then, what our fathers knew how to do then in the millennia was to throw a little bit of fight and all that. But I think now, because of the awareness that a lot of women have, men that cannot find a stable understanding of how to bridge the gap between their wife being able to provide more than they can, set into depression. They don't understand how to navigate around it successfully. And that says that up until now, there's still no solution to it. There is still nothing helping men of this generation understand that it is not a battle. It is not a fight if you have a supporter. I will go back to what the Holy Book says. I think before they would say behind every successful man. Now, I like that phrase that says beside every successful man. I like that. I like that phrase.
That is just words.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it speaks to the daily reality of.
I agree. It doesn't.
Can I come in here,
Please?
I think it was in one of our episodes we came to the reality that the strength of the man has shifted from physical,
from protecting,
to mental.
Highly mental, actually.
It's not about how much you can fight. It's about
what do you have upstairs?
What do you have up there? And for the women also, there is now a collaborative mental strength with the man. Now, to not make us digress so much out of what we were trying to talk about, which is at that level, when a man goes to work in the morning and comes back in the evening, his wife goes to work in the morning and comes back in the evening. Now, okay, I'll come back to that. There's this thing I see these days. I don't even know. Have you noticed that when you're driving around 4 in the evening in Lagos, most of the people you see driving with you are women?
Mm-hmm,
and when you're driving around 9 at night, most of the people you see with you are men.
True.
True.
If you've not tried
that's my own. I noticed that. So you see a lot of women rushing home to go and take care of the home, while the men are
still at the back.
You get me? Now, I was asking a question earlier on. Now, the man still thinks, right? Irregardless of these roles.
Gender roles and
everything. The man still thinks, look, it's your duty, sort it out. You should take care of the house, take care of the children, sort it out. I'll come in anytime I want to come in. I'll do stuff when I want to do stuff. You understand me? All I just need to do is provide for you and everything. Now, that's a mental state of mind, which I'm asking right now, I'm not having an opinion. How does the woman feel about it? Do you feel cheated?
And I think
you're really being the devil's advocate in this conversation.
Okay.
And I know where you're trying to get.
So funny enough, I think in order to buttress the question being asked, a lot of women will still tell you that I'm leaving work at 4 p.m. at 5 p.m. I'm still providing, I'm doing both. You should be able to do both also.
Absolutely.
But I think we should want to
So,
hear from
but-
Barrister Serrano's.
But sorry, what do you think?
Women are being shortchanged. That is the inequality.
Even
that
still now, you still feel like you're
That is the inequality.
They
that
allow you to go
faces
to work.
women.
You still go to work to provide. You still.
I take exception to the use of the word they allow.
Okay.
You see, that's where we are.
Your lordship.
Exception with you too.
Yeah, sorry.
It is
I take that exception with you also then.
It is not.
Let me rephrase.
What like they allow? Allow
Exactly.
what? Like,
Okay, so like
they are doing us a favor.
So, let me rephrase.
and they open gate for us small. They open gate for us small to let us go.
Please, let him rephrase. What's the
You still go out to provide.
Yes.
And you still want to come in to meet your daughters and your sons. So how is that me not being allowed to, do my own thing? And you still feel like I need to be present to come and tie the diaper.
Okay. So, the moment you decide you want to have a family, you are not allowed to do your own thing. You can't just decide you always want to do your own thing. There are other people you have to take into consideration. And that is majorly what women want men to do. Put us into consideration in your day-to-day, not just on the big decisions or when you fancy it. Put us in consideration at all times. Like you said, nothing is cast in stone. There's no one way to go about it. You can have a conversation about it. How do you want me to support this family?
Okay.
Have a conversation about it and work it out. Okay,
Beautiful.
I'll prepare the kids, you do drop-offs and pickups.
Beautiful.
Whatever works for everybody.
Conversations.
Yes.
Conversations.
Communication.
That thing is.
And we are losing
Permit me to jump in on what a barrister is saying, and I'm glad that you are coming back to where I wanted everybody to come to eventually,
Okay.
which is that there is, like I said again, there's no one size fits all. Let's understand that. Number two, for everybody that goes to listen, and this is me not bashing married counselors, but if you feel bashed, that's my business. But the truth is, no two marriages are the same.
Definitely.
No two couples are the same.
No manual to it.
So that means that and that was what I was talking about, because all my conversation was meant to drive down here. If you understand that the dynamics that makes your relationship work, it's a blueprint that is unique to itself, then you will not try to create models from other people.
Excellent.
Then the model that would work is the model that is unique to you and your spouse. I can give instances, and I can tell you that certain things are not a big deal to me. Waking up to take care of a child is not a problem. It's not a problem. It's not so, for me, it may not be a problem. But if you ask me to cook, I'm over processing it. Right? But I might not need to make a compromise that, okay, but I have to cook. But let us agree that every time I cook it is Indomie and egg.
So it's not a basis of this is
what you do as a
I was thinking that when you were going to with what you said was, it's okay for me to take the child to school. It's okay for me to do things on the surface.
It is
but
okay
when I'm
for
going
me-
deep to start saying, I need to,
No,
they've not
it
washed
is
their
okay.
uniform.
No.
They're
It's
not
okay
cooked.
for you to do.
I was thinking, I'm just telling you what I
Okay,
thought.
so it is okay
but
for
you'll be
you.
able to
It
explain
is okay
better.
for you to do what is your strength that your spouse can admit. I like how somebody that I respect defines marriage. He said marriage is the ability to take your spouse's bullshit and go to bed with it. What some other people say, your wife likes to sleep. I'm like, no, she needs a rest. Because for you
You
understand the place of rest.
True.
So that means it should be so, what's that word? It should be so haute couture. It should be so narrowed down. It should be so specific designed. We keep talking about a man finding identity. I think the core is that the man is trying to find acceptance, really.
True.
The core of this thing is really more acceptance than it is about.
No, she does not agree with you.
How much accepting do you want women to accept? How much, pardon my language, bullshit do you want women to put up with?
So you can
what
scratch
I
that.
wanted
It's
to
not
have-
cement BS.
What I wanted to add to what you were saying is, I understand the place of having a conversation and relating from a strength position individually. But while we've accepted that, let's also work on improving ourselves.
Oh yes. Most
That's what
definitely.
people forget.
I am
So
in for
at
that.
this
I'm in support
moment,
of that.
at this
I'm in support of
moment,
that.
I can't cook. I'll do Indomie and hair maybe on Sundays. But 2 years down the line,
You
Oga,
get tired.
don't tell me you're still at the place where it's just Indomie and eggs that you
What are
can
you
make
doing
for
in
the
the kitchen?
family.
Can't you? Why do
So
I
that is
upgrade
why
it?
that is
You
why
should have
that is
upgraded
why
to rice and stew
okay,
at the
so
very
so that is
least.
why I said that it is unique to both couples.
Mhm.
And I'm still saying the same thing you're saying.
Yes.
So if you see what I'm saying, if you accept the fact that this is what I can do
At the moment.
at the moment, and I'm doing what I can do,
Mhm.
what I can do
So-
will oftentimes work. It's like work. It will demand a place of improvement. It's like work. What do we say? The reward for good work is more work.
Yes.
It is standard. Because at the level if we are married and is a child, the demand is different from when we have 2 or 3 kids.
Okay.
So
So maybe we had that conversation when we had one child.
yeah, exactly.
So
So
we
the
need to
more
be
children we
revisited.
have,
The conversation needs to be
the
revisited and
way
refined.
so the way we now need to pivot what we are doing,
Okay.
regardless of where and whom and how. But like I said, at whatever stage of the
There should be mutual
relationship,
acceptance.
there should be consistent acceptance,
So-
and we have to now hold on, sir. We have to keep redesigning what we are giving. But whatever redesign, it's done in the concept of fit. It's done in the concept of uniqueness. It's done in the way that I am not doing it to please Mama Ngozi
As a
or Baba.
model, you're
I am
trying
doing
to-
it not to please my spouses, but to make my spouse happy. Whereby whatever I do, it does not make me feel less of myself as a spouse or as a man. So regardless of whether I'm with the boys, whether I'm at the place of worship, whether I'm at business, I can hold my chest high that Omo yala yain, I am me, man.
Okay.
That
So,
is
so now
right.
to better understand all this and to summarize it as far as we've been discussing, how do you advise that we bridge the gap in between how men think and how they are understood?
Don't start this conversation at this point now.
But that's the essence of the conversation.
So how do you? So I would like her to.
Okay.
I would like, because I like your input a lot, but I want to hear how do you bridge that gap in between what you are hearing, what are you assimilating, what are
And
you
what you're interpreting.
interpreting?
as- I think we've all.
For me, I think my wife understands when she asks me some certain things and I say, okay. The way you say the okay matters a lot. The way you say it matters, it helps a lot.
However you say it.
Oh, no.
It's still left with the interpretation
So
of
let me give
what
an
you hear.
instance. No, let me give an instance. My wife, if I say it in the nicest way, I say, oh, honey, you are saying okay because you want me to stop disturbing you happy. And I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. No. So I'm just saying, I'm of the opinion that the way you say it matters a lot. That's my own opinion about it. I stand to be corrected. So, but back to you, Remy. What do you think?
You're
How do you
absolutely
bridge the gap?
right. I think tune and expressions help in interpreting whatever words you're using. So that's another part of it. So when it comes to interpretation of what men are saying verbally and what they really mean, I think it comes from a place of intimacy, having known the person for a while. So you can easily interpret, just like the illustration you gave. You can easily interpret what this okay means and what that okay means. There's that. But taking a cue from everything that we've discussed so far, I would also say that what I'm understanding is men need to communicate more.
More.
So I read something, I think Esther shared with me, and she was like, I can't remember exactly, but it was talking about silence being a form of communication.
Consent. Silence.
No, not
Equal to
consent. Not consent. It was either silence or the part about saying yes just to say yes, and it was communication. If I cannot understand what you're saying, you're not communicating to me.
So
You're just talking.
So what if?
Sorry,
Can I come please?
I was going to say, hold on, sir. You've still not answered the question because we're talking about the
How to bridge the gap
how to
between.
be the thinking of a man, the
And
mentality.
how you
I was just trying to come in there to help
Okay.
you. Now, what the man is saying, and how it's being understood. Now, I mentioned something earlier on about the man processing.
Yes.
Probably
You
he
did.
doesn't have the right
answer.
answer
At the time.
at that time to what you're saying. But how would you understand? What would you want the man to do better? Now, when the man comes to, and you know that every man does not want to look helpless, it's just, I don't know, God will help us with this ego thing. I don't know who put it there. I don't know who's coming to take it out. I don't know who put it in our head, who's coming to take it out. But God will help us with it. The man does not want to look helpless. The man does not want to look less than a man. So at that point in time, when he does not have answers to what you want to say, it's just like, but how would you prefer that the man would communicate himself better? That even when he does not have answers to your questions at that time, you would understand that at this point in time, he does not have answers. Let me just support him and wait.
I'm not turning into a fight.
How would you want him to communicate that to you?
It's pretty simple. You're at work, your boss asks you for something. If you don't have it at that moment, what do you say? Can I get back to you on this? Pretty simple.
With a timeline.
Exactly, with a timeline. If I approach you with an issue and you are not in the best frame of mind to have that conversation with me at that point, I don't want to have this conversation with you right now.
Are you sure your gender accepts it?
Oh, I will accept it.
all the time
I will
like that.
accept it.
The more that I know about your gender, it's not like they accept it all the time like that.
I will accept
I don't want to have
it.
this conversation with you and you can't sleep.
I can.
But
You've had that
what do you think?
So what I think that is practical
Yes.
is this. I will still come back to what works between two people, and I can have this conversation. And I can give you tons of examples. God help me. The average woman, naturally by psychology, is not known that they are designed to replicate whatever they've seen their mothers do.
Yeah, that's true.
It's conditional. I always keep speaking to the psychology of people.
Yeah.
So subconsciously, especially the same thing you complain about your mother, you find
yourself
yourself doing the same
doing it.
exact thing.
Yeah.
Even when you try not to.
So most of the time,
Do it in a better way, version you.
you do it in good measure, praise God, something together. So oftentimes, and I've been there, where I've had to say, and until couples, spouses, people dating are ready to have hard conversations, then you're not ready to actually make progress with whatever it is you have.
There you have.
So until you admit that number one, and you have to find a way to let the woman know, because you can't say you're always behaving like your mother. Very cool. So you have to let
That's not good enough.
you have to let the person see that wait, you are repeating consistent habits and patterns, and I've observed this. You must find a way. And back to what Tosin said. Look at this. Oftentimes there are conversations that, and this is one thing we men would immediately allude to. 75% of the time, what we say versus what we want to say, they are never the same thing. Because the woman will say, "Tell me as it is, I can take it." If you tell her as it is,
You want to start one
hold on, ma.
Okay, let us know. Yes.
From a woman's point of view.
So that tell me as it is, I can take it. It's not saying spit it out exactly how it is.
Okay.
Be as honest as you can as it is. Not rub it in my face.
And diplomatic and romantic and polite manner.
Azeez Serrano, but men,
as simple as that telling as it is look at what
see, it is all of that. So that's what I say. If you must break it down, a lot of things will be wrong. God help me. It is the life of a man that we are built. The minute we say we do to the beautiful woman, we have literally tied the collar of this confusion on her neck.
True.
And I'll explain it. You marry a woman, she becomes your wife. As a man, you've gotten her. And at the back of her, like, okay, you are my wife, let's just flow.
Let's chill.
And then the woman will say, "You have stopped chasing me."
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
I know, forgive me, I know. We have that problem. You know. But we have to consistently be in the state where we have to chase you. Then we do that, and you're saying, "You're not chasing me enough." That's another fact. Then back to conversation on how we talk to you. The way we talk to you as a girlfriend was we were chasing each other. Then we now say we want to become man and wife. Then we now get into the conversation that we want to have at that point definitely changes.
Okay.
So but somewhere at the back of your head, women that are listening, somewhere at the back of a woman's mind, she's filtering your conversation with you when you were a certain way. Most women naturally find it hard to let go.
Let's go.
I can understand that.
So women, you are hearing good graces on us. So you naturally now expect us to have that kind of conversation, to have conversations with you. So what? But back to what I was saying. So if you woman, so you have to know that it will help a woman to see that most of the time what you are responding to when your man is talking is not most of the time what the man is saying.
Okay.
You are filtering the conversation from the angle of your experiences, not your immediate experiences, from what you have learned to know over the years.
Absolutely.
So I'm
The
going to
things
give
you
this
saw.
show to understand that there's no balance.
There no, I think that we can leave the show to know that there is a balance, and couples need to learn to know to have the hard conversations. One of the things I always tell couples is always find a time out. Learn it. You must have a can we not talk about it now?
Now,
Word. So that you can
Can we
remind
drop
each
it?
other.
They'll
So that you
remind
can
you
remind each
later.
other that this is a time when not to talk. Can we also find a place where we can have conversations and the words are not hurtful words? Because once words come, you can't
You
piece
can't take
it
them
back.
back. Yeah.
But you're dealing with emotional.
No, I'm telling no, but you can
So
get
that's
there.
why
Hold on, that's what I'm saying.
shelve
You
it.
can get there. I've tried it. You can get there. Where there are
You just need to learn
conversations
to work on yourself.
there are conversations when you know you are getting to a state,
Mm-hmm.
there are certain things you just have to stop and not do.
Do.
Both of you have to respect each other enough
Mm-hmm.
that, and then you have to now agree
Intentional.
in this time out. Is it that we're not going to talk in the next 20 minutes?
No, you talk about other things definitely.
You will not even talk. What are you talking about? You the guy now.
Really?
Not. So let us agree. Are we going to do it for 10 minutes? Are we going to do it for 15? Are we going to do it for 20? These are by the time you have that conversation, you will find out that what will happen is that over time, your conversations will become healthier. You would spill less on each other and you will get more results over time. So the ability is now on us to learn to get there. Then for the men, and I'm going to challenge all our viewers who are listening. How much of your father are you replicating and you becoming?
That's a huge one.
So how much thing that you have consistently seen over time growing up that you complained about have you become? So that is another hard conversation that we need to have with ourselves as men. Then the two questions, then this is another question I'd like us to end with for men. What is the picture of the life you actually envision to have versus the life that you're having now? Pick a piece of paper and go back and reboot. How do you reboot? Simple principle. Write down the 5 values that naturally define you as a person. Let it be 5 values of you as a person.
What you studied about yourself.
You know, well, whatever aspiration you have. For example, I tell people this. People say, oh, I have a mentor. Me, I don't believe in having one mentor. And I tell you this. Why? Someone tells me why. I said, because the person that mentors me for relationship is a different person from the person that mentors me in speaking. It's different from the person that mentors me in business. It's different from the person that mentors me.
Is that so because of this saying that says, "Ẹni tó bá máa daṣọ fún yàn tọ́nu ẹ̀dá á kọ́kọ́ wò," meaning that anyone that is going to make a clothes for you,
look at the
value of
that.
Is that why?
That is one. But I'm speaking for me. Because I believe that there are people who have perfected certain things over time.
Okay.
So when I've seen that this person has made a result of certain things, I'm like, no, I want to model my life like this.
Mm-hmm.
So I am close to them because that is one thing that I want to hear. And so let me also tell you what it does for you. If you focus on this person because you like his financial life, if he's messing up in his marriage, you'll find out that you'll be blinded to it, you won't see it. Because to the degree of what you want, that's what you will see.
Absolutely.
The minute you shift your focus, other things. So you are human. You cannot be saying, he's doing this, but this no, but you would not see it
because you are blinded to the fact that.
So your respect, the way you relate with the person is consistent on that regard. So whatever they say, you will take their humanity for who they are. So let me now tell you what it does ultimately to you. To the degree that you give graces to people to be people, the same way you find out that people will replicate the same thing naturally to you. Yeah. And the pressure on your life will automatically go down. Sorry, so that's why I'm feeling it's a place for us to help men to strike that balance and see so that we can begin to be human.
Because I think oftentimes a lot of people are moving around and they don't even know that a lot of things has to do with their mental wellness. So what would your advice be to men out there struggling with how to find a balance to life, basically?
It's very simple. Life is like a material you take to a tailor to make a cloth. And to every man, the cloth is your mentality and your mind. So every time you go to a tailor, you say cut to fit. So the same thing applies to your mentality. Pick the fabric of your life and cut the one that works for you now. You don't need the one for tomorrow or yesterday. Just pick the one that works for you now. At every time, get the fit to life that works right now.
Barrister Serrano, what do you have for me?
I would like to reiterate what you said earlier, and for ladies, for women, I would say always offer grace when you're interacting with them. You may not entirely understand why they're acting the way they are, but if you're coming from a place of grace, it balances things out in such a way that you don't escalate issues unnecessarily. Yes, so I'll say always operate from a place of grace.
Thank you so much, Coach K. Barrister Serrano, thank you so much. We've come to the end of today's episode of Grounded Man. I remain your host, Abiola. Don't forget to connect with us on all of our socials. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. See you next time.